Hi everybody, this is Philip. Thank you so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Hey folks, this is what 5 days of cabin fever look like. Um, it's just unbelievable what the United States and the world is going through right now. I do know that there are two, possibly three of my people that like my pages or Facebook page, and I wish I could do something for you to make you feel better. I love you guys. You've been with me for the last 5 years, and I appreciate it. And my love and my prayers go out every night to each and every one of you. Just wanted to show you what I'm doing here on my page. Um, I've got the FT-4VR. Now, the FT-4VR at the end of it means radio, which means FM radio. And I can listen to, I like, oh geez, what don't I like? 93.3, 90, it's actually 91.32. Those are both the Christian, I want to say Christian rock stations. That's what I call them. And Jeremy Camp, who else? Van Disa. Fortunately, Van Disa's kind of disappeared off of the playlist on both of the Christian stations. You don't hear her very much anymore. That was a hint for some of you that work at K-Love and some others. Put some Van Disa back on. There's probably maybe what 35 million people that are stuck at home right now, and they're not really playing enough of her. Jeremy Camp is another one that I like. Oh, this is the bear with me for a minute. This is the Yaesu SSM-17B, and it has a nice little clip on it, and we'll stick it like that. But I've got all my toys here. Just a second. Let me. Nope. Let's see. No, it won't let me do it. I got the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and it used to be that you could switch between the forward-facing and the rear view facing camera, but it's not letting me do it anymore. But I've got all my play toys. I've got my stereo, which cranks out 80 watts per speaker, a total of 160 watts. Let's see, I've got my base computer, which I've got hooked up to my big screen TV. I can watch anything on the internet, YouTube, whatever, and my big screen TV. And then I've got my other computer, which I use for doing my budgets and some other things. There, you heard it. And I'm trying to do this. I've got a dog whose name is Pookie. It's like cookie, but Pookie, Pookie. If it wasn't for him having me to take him out every 2 to 2.5 hours, I would have went nuts 2 days ago. But he's given me a lot of light. Somebody just came up here on the top of the screen and let me know that he got the message. If you guys don't mind, and I hope you don't, I would like to say a prayer for my friends. my Facebook friends, my Facebook friends and my YouTube people that have stuck with me. And I'm going to do this again on my other YouTube channel as soon as I'm done. But I would really like to say a prayer for all of you. Now, I realize that there are some of you that don't believe in prayer. That's fine. But I do. I've seen a lot of fantastic things happen in my life the last 8 years. And I know that God is with me at all times. And I think He is with all of us right now. I think the devil himself found a way to let this go. And yes, I think we're going to see some deaths. But the United States has the best scientists in the world. We've got the best. There is nothing better. There's no one better than the United States. But for once, and I don't know if you realize this, but all of the scientists, all of the doctors in the world are working for one cause. They're all working together for one cause: to get rid of this COVID-19, which started back in November, and then it found itself all the way around the world. But I think we're going to get through this. Do I think I'm going to die? Hey, I've had a heart attack. I've got some other things going on. I could very well die because of this COVID-19. Do I look like I'm afraid? Yes, I am. But I also know that if I do die, I am going to be going to heaven because of my beliefs. There are others of you that probably don't believe in God. You will go to heaven, and you will stand there and be judged by God. It is not our right, the human beings of of the world, to judge. All we can say is okay. But it is not our right to judge. It is God's right. It is God's hand that comes out to every last person, that when you die, He takes you by the hand and takes you up so he can ask you, why did you do this? Why didn't you do something about it? Were you a bad parent? Why? Why didn't you come to me in prayer and ask, why didn't I do better with my kids? Why didn't I do better with my wife? It's all coming to pass. We've seen it. There are people in New York that are dying, 200, 300, 400, that are dying every day, sometimes every hour. And when I say my prayer with you guys, I'm gonna just put everybody on. I've got everybody on my list. And if you see that, the cross in back of me, I am not a preacher. I don't claim to be. But once in a while, I do get the chance to teach what I know about God. And there are other people that know more than I do. I learned about God when I was 3 years old. My body, one part was growing, the other part wasn't. By the time I was 5, I understood what God and who God was. I've been through more pain than I like to think about. But during all this, and this is what I'm trying to make my point, there are people like you that are looking at this that may or have already started to lose relatives. You don't have to do what I'm going to ask you. But I want all of you that are listening to this. Today's date, I believe it's the 29th of March. Tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. my time, so 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. 10:30 back east, so that's 7:30 my time, which is West Coast, and then East Coast would be 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. At 10:30, I am going to kneel along my bed, and I'm going to say a prayer for all of you. And if you would like, at 10:30 tomorrow morning, on the East Coast, wherever you're at, if you've got death surrounding you and you don't understand why there are people dying and you're not, on the East Coast from 10:30 a.m. to 10:35 a.m. West Coast 7:30 a.m. to 7:35 a.m. It doesn't have to be a hallelujah prayer. You don't have to get mouthy with God. You don't have to say a prayer if you don't want to. But remember, you are part of God's family. Everyone that's listening to this is a part of God's family. No matter what religion you are. And I will repeat that, no matter what religion you are. Tomorrow morning, join me in prayer for 5 minutes. Again, if you are surrounded by death tonight, try saying a prayer. Tomorrow morning, all of us that are listening to this, I'm going to make sure that at 7:30, I'm going to be praying with all of you. Whether you are a serviceman or you are a doctor, if you are a nurse. If you are a father, a mother, a grandma, or a grandpa, even a child that can understand what I'm saying. It's time that all of us said a prayer for all of our relatives, the men and women that are in the armed forces, the mothers, the fathers, the grandparents, the aunts, uncles, brothers. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to tell anybody that, hey, you know what I did? My prayer went I went to prayer and I wanted to talk to God, but I don't want anybody to know, because I don't want everybody to know that I'm afraid. That's fine. You don't have to say anything to anybody, because you're talking to God. You're not going to be talking to me. And whoever's going to be doing this, nobody has to know, because God is going to be the only one listening to you. Unless you can get your wife and the kids in that same bedroom and pray by your bed. Ask them to keep death away from your family. Ask them to pull mom or dad out of the virus that they're in. But remember, God is and has always been and will always be in full control. Well, I love all of you. I hope that wherever you're at, New York, Seattle, Los Angeles, or maybe you're down in Texas, or you're in, I'm having a problem pulling up the state, or if you're down Louisiana, that's what I was looking for. Please, all of you, I'm going to make this quick. You don't have to have anybody with you when you pray. But I guarantee you, God is going to be listening to every last one of us tomorrow morning. No matter who you are, I don't care what color of skin you have. I don't care what language you speak. God is going to be there, up there in heaven, saying, wow, I've never heard from these people before. I haven't heard from her in years. And that child, where did that child learn how to pray? And I've never heard her. I hope you've got the idea. Don't worry who you are. And don't worry your color of your skin. And don't worry about the language that you speak. God knows you. And God is going to be listening to you. But remember, in the end result, God is in control. All right, everybody. I'm going to make sure that Alexa knows to let me remember me.
I don't know that one.
There she goes. Remember, 7:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. West Coast side. East Coast, 10:30 a.m. I love all of you. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow morning.